Hello, I'm still looking for Harry to come back. My first guest, everybody knows. He's a good friend. He's a marvelous actor. Everything he's in, he walks away with a picture. And right now, he's currently starring in a situation comedy called Mr. President, which is on, as they say, another network. Would you welcome George C. Scott? See, actors really know how to take a bow.
What a group. I can take them over to Paramount with me. Come with me. Yes, to my show. My goodness.
You know how to take a bow. Theater people know how to take a bow, right?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. When you come out for the curtain call, I remember once seeing, I think it was Ethel Merman in Gypsy. And at the close of the show, you know, the curtain goes up and the cast comes out, and she came out and literally milk that audience. It's like if you didn't applaud, she was going to come out and grab you by the throat. She would slowly walk over here, look at the audience, stand there, and do this. Well, the audience had to applaud. And then just as about as it died, she'd walk to the other side, pause, drop the head. It was wonderful to watch. Wonderful.
I love British actors. They go...
Yeah.
September morn. What are they worried about? I don't know.
You know what I think that is? It's like showing vulnerability. Like,
I think so. And modesty.
Yeah, a little modesty and humility. Would you describe yourself as a modest person?
Yeah, yes.
Would you?
As opposed to egocentric, you mean?
Yeah, sure.
Certainly, absolutely.
Certainly?
I'm so nervous I got to smoke, don't you?
Come on, what are you nervous about?
I can't show the brand, though. There's only 2 people alive left that smoke these. Everybody else is dead.
Don't show the brand.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, you're talking major lawsuit here.
I didn't say a word.
Don't say anything. Okay. Only
Sorry,
2 people left.
The rest finished.
Well, then, no, people have got to say at home. They said, George C. Scott just pulls out a cigarette. And there are only 2 people left who smoke this, and yet he pulls one out. Now, how would you answer that?
I also just celebrated my 60th birthday last week.
Yeah.
It's very bad. I tried to quit so many times. I quit for 4 months this spring.
I know you did.
250 pounds.
You did gain a little weight, didn't you?
Yeah.
But isn't that temporary? They say you gain
It's
and then...
metabolistic. I don't know what causes it.
Yeah. Well, as long as you're comfortable with it. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
The theater.
Yes.
If you had your druthers... I saw you with Larry King one night.
Yeah.
He's a marvelous interviewer.
He is a good interviewer.
Yeah, he's very good. And you were talking about the theater. I get the feeling if you had your druthers with playing television, motion pictures, you'd like to go and do the theater.
Yeah. When you start out there, it's true. It's... I try to... Somebody asked me that the other day. I try to remember what it is about. It's not only the live audience and that ambiance or whatever you want to call it. But more than anything else, I thought it's the language that is kind of a heritage that stage actors are very lucky to have that other actors schooled elsewhere do not have. Film, certainly you don't get them in situation comedies like I'm in now.
Yeah.
And...
well, there was a time when somebody from the theater, if you'd have even suggested television, would have looked at you like, television?
Yeah. And that's wrong, too.
Yeah.
But the language stays with you for the rest of your life. And I was thinking maybe I'd lay a little something on you to show you what I mean. The beauty of it and the charm of it and the wit of it. It's not just the classics, not just Shakespeare or something like that, but some of the modern... people, Fry, Genet, Ennui. And I thought of a piece I used to do from Christopher Fry's The Lady's Not for Burning. It was a big success a number of years ago with Gil Good and Pamela Brown, and the very young Richard Burton at the time was playing the juvenile lead. And it's in blank verse. Now, don't panic, folks, because... Have I got enough time for this?
Sure.
You say blank verse, I always thought, it's a bunch of Greeks running around in a burlap and bare feet and pulling each other's eyes out. It's terrible. Long speeches. This is love. You don't even have to watch. Just listen. But we got to do it like the mighty Carson art players. You see, I got a part for you and a part. You don't do anything. Just sit. Ed is a beautiful young woman who has been accused of being a witch. Erroneously, of course, because she's innocent. And she's going to be burned at the stake. Mm-hmm. And you, John, play the mayor of the town, who's also naturally the town magistrate, who's condemned her to death. Oily, unctuous, mean, cruel, venal, corrupt. Perfect part, John.
Oh, thank you.
And I play a guy who walks in off the street, sort of a street bum, also typecasting. And he, in order to take attention away from the lady, maybe so she can escape, he says that he's committed a couple of murders of local citizens. And maybe they'll hang him.
Do we have any lines at all?
No, you just sit there.
I see, all right.
And at the height of this argument, he turns to the mayor and he says, "You bubble-mouthing, fog-blathering, chin-chuttering, chap-flapping, liturgical, turgidical, base old man, what about my murders? And what goes on inside that head of yours? Huh? What funny little murders, chatting up and down in 3/4 time, afraid to come out? What bliss to sin by proxy and to do penance by way of someone else. But we'll not talk about you. No. Neither about this exquisitely mad young woman nor about anybody but me. I'm due to be hanged. Good Lord. Aren't 2 murders enough to win me the medals of damnation? Must I put 6 children on a spit and toast them at the flame that comes out of my mouth? You let the fairies fox you while the devil does you. Concentrate on me. That's it.
I like that.
Nice. Haven't done that in years.
You never forget that.
No. Must be 25 years.
George just said he hadn't done that for 25 years, and yet the lines you were doing them like they were ingrained in
lovely
there.
stuff, isn't it?
That is great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. That's the kind of stuff we normally don't get on our on a lowbrow show like we have. It's nice to bring a little class into this show occasionally, you know. Holding up a rubber chicken and doing that.
That's good.
Stuff the ladies not for burning. I mean, we try for every class.
Some of the dogs I've been in.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. That was marvelous. Thank you, Doc. The amazing Randy will be out later. And we're talking with George C. Scott. Have you always worked under George C. Scott, never just George Scott?
Yeah, George C. I did it on purpose because I noticed when I was a kid that if you had an initial like Edward G. Robinson, nobody ever heard of Edward Robinson, right?
You're right.
There was white space in there, so I said, I threw that middle initial at me. God knows what it stands for, folks.
Yeah, I'm not even going to ask.
No, don't ask. No.
Harry S. Truman. How many people, do you know how many people what the S stood for in Harry S. Truman? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
There's no middle name, just maybe that's the same thing. He wanted that kind of nice ring to it. Harry S. Truman.
That's true.
I asked George during the break where the term, we've never been able to figure it out. When you say you're in a turkey, for example, on Broadway, or I guess it could be any kind of a show, you say, well, there's a real turkey, which means it's a bomb. Now, if you're in England, you have a bomb. That's a big hit, right?
That's a big hit.
If you say, oh, I was a bomb in England, that's a smash. But over here, they say it's a turkey, and we've never been able to run that down. Did you ever have any idea?
No, I have no idea.
Some people thought it was maybe that a Thanksgiving Day audience came and they'd eaten too much food. so they didn't react or something, or were lethargic, and they call it a turkey, but I don't know.
Lots of times we put... on animals, we put there's a word for that. I don't know.
Anthropomorphic, I believe.
Pythagorean. Hello.
Isn't anthropomorphic when you give living qualities to an inanimate object?
That's right. Absolutely.
I think so.
What a weird.
I keep little things
Anyway,
like that
we
filed
do.
away just in case I get on a quiz show.
Lay that in there.
Yeah. A turkey, and I don't know why. Well, actors hamming it up.
Hamming it up.
He's a ham actor. Now, where would that come from? Freddie, you should know these things. A ham actor.
Hamlet.
From Hamlet? You think so? In other words, guys who would overact the part of Hamlet would ham it up.
Very good.
Well, that makes sense. That was Jim McCauley and Mandolci. Agree on that? All right. Did you ever play Hamlet?
Never played Hamlet. I played a lot of others, but I was never a romantic lead, unfortunately.
Really?
Or fortunately.
Well, you could have played Hamlet very well. What do you like rather play Polonius?
I wasn't
That's the
very
kind-
pretty.
Something like that.
Sort of
right?
ugly.
How about Macbeth?
Macbeth I once played. I played Richard III, of course.
Yes. I took a little theater in college, and I got so embarrassed. I always had a comedy bet, and I would start to... When I went out to do something serious, I always thought people were going to laugh. And so I could never do it.
Yeah.
I had to go out and do that awful thing. What is this, a dagger in my hand? And I just... Now, what is it? What causes that? Just a bit insecure, or you think people are going to laugh at you?
Sure, you know that, and the fear mounts upon itself, you know, feeds itself. It's not an easy
You ever
job,
suffer from
folks.
stage fright? Real, genuine, terrible stage fright?
Absolutely, everyone does. They say you're dead if you don't.
Yeah, what do you do to get over it?
You don't. Throw up. I used to throw up all the time.
Now, people won't believe that. I've known other
athletes,
performers who would do that after the show or before and then go out and be brilliant.
I always used to throw up a lot. Couldn't eat at all. Terrible.
Now, I knew actors, believe it or not, who couldn't do radio shows. Now, the audience really didn't even see them. They stood there with a script
Never heard that.
and did radio and absolutely would panic. I guess of having to talk into the rather
Shaking
inanimate.
papers.
Yeah. What's the shortest run you ever had? Did you ever open and close in one night?
I wish I could say to you that it had only happened once. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Trish and I had a play on Broadway with some of our own money in it one night a few years ago. I think I hold a record. I opened a show that I produced, directed, and starred in on Broadway. We opened on a matinee and didn't make it to the evening performance.
You're kidding. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to open these.
I was
Open the matinee and never opened the
never
evening.
got there for the night, yeah. And I was in a play one time in England. We opened in England, and the audience, maybe I told you that, the audience rose as one and booed.
Oh,
As one person. Boo! It's a little hard to take.
that's murder. And you gutted it out to the end?
We did. Oh, it was awful.
And did not
that
return.
That was the end.
And did not
That was the
return.
end of the
That was
opening
it.
night.
I just thought of, I don't mean to top your story.
No.
Speaking of the audience standing, Dick Martin and Dan Rowan, who passed away just about a month or so ago, used to tell me a story. They were working a place, I think, in some nightclub. And you remember the story, Ed?
Yes.
And it was like a bunch of conventioneers. And they were just terrible. And they were dying. They had tried everything. They'd given it their best A material. So Dan and Dick, in the middle of this, started to sing something like some song. I don't remember what the song was. And they got up, and they were going around the table singing, and went right out the door to their room, and never came back. He just left. And he said, nobody missed him at all. Just left. Insecurity. We'll be right back. Stay where you are.
True story.